Welcome. So yeah, time to break this thing off the shelf. I robbed some parts off of it for the speedrun challenge. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna throw some electronics back in this thing and give it a play. Yeah, it's been a minute. We do call this Shelf Queen just because everything's locked up in this thing. So it likes to break shit. But it doesn't, it doesn't, I'll give you a little spin around here, it doesn't look like a Shelf Queen. So this was a kit. This is, for anybody that doesn't know, it's an Axial RBX10 Ryft. So Rock Bouncer Extreme 10, 1/10 scale. So as you can see, this was a kit. It comes in gray. We used RIT dye, and we dyed the cage. So that's why you see like gray showing through the burgundy we ended up with. So I do have upgraded draft shafts in this. I broke quite a few of different aftermarket brands, and these are the ones that have been working the best so far. Other than that, all stock links. Up front I do have a, what is that, a Vidavon steering bar. I kept breaking those. Better servo saver by, I think this is Trio. Yeah, and then I'll show you what we got for a motor in here. What I got going on with transmission, these do have a, you can do either a 2-speed with a servo, mini servo down there, or you can just run a single speed, and right now I have the single speed in it. Less braking that way, and I don't really use it too much as a crawler. It's more of a basher. It's a rock bouncer. It's for ripping and breaking stuff, right? So these are, as you see, aftermarket online, aluminum wheels. They are very heavy, but they look cool, right? Okay, well, I'm probably going to speed up a lot of the working process, and then I'll just stop and bring you in when you need to know what I'm saying, I guess. Yeah. Alright, well, let's get into this. We're going to get the cage right off, and to do that, we have a bunch of bolts that go down the pan here on both sides, and then we have to disconnect the shocks and then the sway bar links. And once we do that, the cage will come off, and it exposes the drivetrain a lot easier. We can set the ESC in. We got to put some new bullets on the motor to fit the ESC. Okay. Ones on the side, and I see I had this part, so I left some out because I knew I was going to be back in it. And these are so long-winded. Now there is some, I'm gonna grab those right now. You lift the hood, this is where you put the battery tray. There's two up here that hold the bottom chassis to the top chassis / cage. So there's one. And two. Okay, now the other side one's here. That should relieve. As you see, the cage comes off from the chassis plate, so that can get set off to the side. Alright, now that reveals the X-Team 3660 motor I have in here, and it has some really small bullets. Here's our ESC tray. In here should be our receiver, if there's one in there. I don't remember. We're going to have to get in there and find out. Let's just do that now. Looks like the Tactic is still in there. Yep, perfect. Yep. This is the one I run in this truck. Seems to do alright. Okay, so that's ready. So here's the ESC I'm going to use. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you've seen me use this in some of my speedrun cars. Tried and true. So we're going to do the battery leads as close to the battery tray as possible. So this is going to go, clean this up a little bit. Because I do have some sticky on the underside of this already. And so I think this is going to go right here. Alright. So now that barely reaches. But it does reach. So that's going to go into channel 2. I'm going to plug that in right now. Where's my polarity? Okay, well, it has the notch. Why can't they just have it etched on there, huh? I guess we just run it. I see a B for battery, but we're gonna try this way first, just see what happens. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Now, like I said, I think these are like 6mm bolts. Oh, that didn't stick. I might have to get a new piece. Well, either way, for test fitting purposes. I need to upgrade the bullets on this, so I'm going to do that. And then these should reach forward to the battery tray. Yes. Okay. I'll kind of test fit this. Nope, not test fit. I'll make it fit when the time comes. I'm gonna get some better sticky. I'll get this stuck down. guess I'm just gonna do that now. Let's get this off of there. Okay. I decided to kind of bring it back to the transmission side, save myself some room on the cowl for these to be able to go like this under there. Okay, that should be stuck down good now. Now I just need to tackle these. Which I believe what I'm going to do is move my tools out of the way, move the tape out of the way. Hobby torch. Helping hands, right? These make a world of difference, guys. Okay. I think what we're gonna do is I have some kind of union right here. I'm gonna cut that off. And then I'm gonna get myself some male bullets. I'm gonna solder those on. Bullets. Okay, so we have our bullets here. They fit great. All right. So I'll show you how I do this. You can see? Yes, you can. First, we got to release these. So I'm gonna take my torch and heat this and pull. You know what? No, I'm not. We can sacrifice a little bit of length, I think. A little bit. We're gonna chop it off right here and just start fresh. My pretty pink cutters. Okay, now we got that redneckery out of here. Now we can pull a little bit of that sheath off. Unevenly. That's alright. Okay, now I'm going to twist that together. And I have flux here. I'm going to dip that in flux. That'll kind of etch the metal and get it ready to be dipped into the molten solder. Now this solder does have flux in it already, but I just do it to be redundant. Okay. So now the first step is to heat up the bullet. Okay, now I'm gonna take my solder and dip it in that cup or next to it because I'm shaky. Okay, there we go. I like to dip it till I start to see it run out the escape hole. Now what we gotta do is bring the helping hands down to reach the wire. There we go. So now I'm gonna heat that real nice and hot. Let it cool again. There we go. Now I'm gonna dip that wire in there. Now I just sit here and let it cool. And there we go. I see we drip some right down the... Now that's not ideal, but what I can do is I can heat that. And kind of touch it with the torch and it'll stick to the torch. Now that'll be okay, it'll still plug in. One down. We will go through and heat shrink those too. Okay, well there we have it. We got the ESC mounted on there, and we got the wires bulleted and zip tied. Now I might need to swap the polarity of one of these still, I'm not sure yet, I don't remember. But I left that zip tie loose enough that I can do so. Yeah. Alright. Well, next we got to get a steering servo in here. I've got one right here. It looks like battery's getting low though, so I think we're going to call this segment 1. And let me swap yet. Yeah, we'll call that segment 1 of wrenching on the Axial Ryft. Hope you guys enjoyed, and next battery I'll bring you back for episode 2, where we'll put a steering servo in it, and we'll get and then we'll test out the electronics, and then if all that works, we'll button the chassis back up and we'll be ready to try it out. Yeah, okay. Later.